So what he's trying to do is show you the commandments and give you back to our heritage. One thing, a part of our heritage is the things that we learned here in America has pushed us far away from God. Even the way that, like you saw with the dress and even with your hair. So now we're going to read what the Bible says, okay?
The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon their head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague.
So yeah, God said so. Hey, listen, hold on, sis. You ain't got to take it all the way. You ain't got to take it off, sis. But we just want to be able to show you the commandments of God. So when you get home, you can be able to take it off. Because the main thing is that God said, if you see a plague in your head, it's a plague. So we're gonna find out what the plague is. So listen up, sis.
Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be slight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
So a yellow thin hair. So what would be a form of yellow today? Exactly. Blonde hair, read.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
So God said that having blonde hair is unclean. That is a plague of God. So, but what we learn is in this society that blonde hair looks good. You see the Beyoncés of the world, you see the Nicki Minaj of the world, they all put the blonde hair. Even the men, the Odell Beckhams, they all put that in their hair, right? Proverbs 3:31. Why? Because we want to be like the people who oppressed us. We were taught that blonde is beautiful, but that's not what God says, right? Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
So God says, envy thou not the oppressor. So you already got it in your spirit to be able to take it off. I'm not going to let you do it right now. When you get to your comforts of your home, you could do that, sis. Because the main thing, God made you a certain way. He made you in his image, and his image is beautiful, right? So give me that Daniel 7:9. So let's see what type of texture God had. And then after that, I want you to give me Wisdom Solomon 13:3. Because what we're trying to do is get our people to get back to loving themselves and the commandments that God gave to us and our heritage and our culture, which is the most beautifulest thing that God ever created, right? So give me that, you got what on?
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9.
So we about to read what the Most High look like, right? Read.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
So the Ancient of Days is talking about the Most High God because he has no ending or beginning of days, right? Read.
Whose garment was white as snow, and the hairs of his head.
So it said God had a garment. So in order for you to have the garment, you have to have a what? For me to put on clothes, what would I need to have to put on clothes? A hand, so I would need a body, right? So God is not a puff of smoke. He's a man that has a body, right? So now, exactly. So now we're about to go into his hair, because it said the hair on his head. Read.
And the hair of his head was like the pure wool.
So God had pure woolly hair. So underneath that wig, you have woolly hair, right? You have woolly hair. All praise the Most High, sis. So that's what God is telling you, that you need to love your pure woolly hair because that is the same texture that he has, right? Give me that. Give me that. Huh? Give me Wisdom Solomon 13:3. So, because that's what God made you that way, because that is the only thing that is beautiful, right? Read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 3. With those beauty, if they be delighted, look them to be God.
So with those beauties that God created them in, and we look to those to be delighted in them to be God's, right? Read.
Let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
So how much better the Lord of them is, the Lord of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
For the first author of beauty hath created them.
The first author of beauty. So God is the first creator of beautiful, and he made you with woolly hair. Right. So that is the first author of beauty. So you should keep going back to what God created you, because God said that's beautiful. Not that blonde hair or none of that, right? All right, so again, sis, what we're trying to do is show you to keep the commandments of God and come back to your culture in the way that God sees you. And it's good that you have that humble spirit, because God can work with you. God can deal with you. God can deal with people who's humble and want to keep the commandments. And take your hood off, Manny.
Psalms chapter 34 and verse 18. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart.
So God is close unto them who can humble themselves when they know they've been doing wrong. What you've been doing and what you've been doing. Every time you heard a commandment, you knew you did wrong and you applied it. You say, okay, let me start doing it. So God is close to you. He can deal with you. He can work with you, right? Read.
and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit.
So God saves those who are in a contrite spirit, meaning you are remorseful for the things that you have been doing wrong. God said he can be able to save you now. Why? Because you humbled yourself to obey the laws of God. So that's the way you got to keep rolling, sis. You got to stay in that humble spirit, you too, brother, to where you can continue to keep the commandments of God. That way you can put yourself in a position that you can have salvation.
Right.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.